The universe communicates in silence, but few ever learn to listen. Most people expect divine messages to arrive in some grand revelation, a lightning bolt of clarity, a booming voice from the heavens, or an unmistakable sign that leaves no room for doubt. Yet the truth is much softer, far quieter. The universe does not shout, it whispers. Its messages are woven into the fabric of everyday moments. The fleeting feeling you get when something doesn't sit right. The calm certainty that comes before a major decision. The coincidence that seems too perfect to ignore. These are not random happenings. They are the subtle ways existence speaks to you, guiding you back toward your path. Every thought, emotion, and circumstance carries an energy that resonates with your inner state. When your life feels chaotic, when things seem to fall apart without reason, it is not because the universe has abandoned you. It is because it's trying to communicate that something within you needs to shift. Perhaps you've been forcing things, chasing outcomes that aren't aligned with your soul's rhythm. Or maybe you've been drowning in noise, the noise of others' opinions, of fear, of the relentless pursuit of control. In that noise, the voice of truth becomes faint, and the gentle signals of the universe go unnoticed. But when you slow down, when you breathe and pay attention, you start to perceive these subtle messages. They arrive as feelings, intuitions, dreams, or sudden insights that emerge from nowhere. You might notice patterns repeating themselves, a song you keep hearing, a symbol that appears everywhere you go, or a person who enters your life at the exact moment you need a reminder of something important. Each of these moments carries meaning, but their language is not one of logic. It is one of resonance. The universe speaks through the energy of experience, not through the words of the mind. That's why silence is essential. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It's the space in which truth can be heard. When you quiet your internal dialogue and stop fighting the flow of life, you begin to sense a deeper intelligence moving through all things. You start to notice that life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. And in that realization, you awaken to a sacred connection, one that transcends the boundaries of thought and reason. To truly hear the universe, you must let go of the need for certainty. You must become comfortable with mystery, with the not knowing, because the signs are not meant to provide answers. They are meant to draw you into awareness. awareness of your energy, your choices, your place in the vast web of existence. The whispers of the universe are constant, but they will never compete for your attention. You must choose to listen. And when you do, you'll realize that you were never lost, only distracted by the noise that made you forget how to hear. What many call coincidence is often far from random. Every encounter, every event, every seemingly small alignment in your life carries an unseen intelligence. The universe arranges moments with astonishing precision, but because our attention is fixed on the surface of things, we rarely perceive the deeper order beneath them. When two events connect in an unexpected way, when you think of someone and they suddenly call, or when a door closes just as another opens, these are not accidents. They are synchronicities, reflections of the invisible harmony between your inner world and the outer one. Life responds to the energy you radiate. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions send out a vibration, and that vibration attracts experiences that resonate with it. This is not magic, it is the natural rhythm of existence. When your inner state aligns with truth, the world around you begins to mirror that harmony. You start meeting people who share your vision, encountering opportunities that match your growth, and finding guidance in unexpected places. Yet, when your energy is fragmented, filled with doubt, fear, or resistance, the signs become confusing, and you may interpret them as chaos or bad luck. The universe, however, is never disordered. It simply reflects the vibration you offer. Synchronicities are the universe's language of alignment. They occur when your consciousness is in tune with the greater flow of life. Sometimes they come as gentle confirmations, reassuring you that you're on the right path. Other times they appear as wake, up calls, inviting you to adjust your direction. The key is awareness. To recognize these patterns, you must look beyond the surface and trust the feeling behind the event. The mind may call it coincidence, but the heart knows when something carries deeper meaning. The beauty of synchronicity is that it reminds you that you are not separate from life. You are not a passive observer watching a random world unfold. You are an active participant in a vast, interconnected dance. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, and every detour you take is a thread in a divine pattern designed to expand your understanding. Sometimes, what seems like a delay or disappointment is actually the universe aligning. Circumstances for something better, something that matches who you are becoming rather than who you were. To live in tune with these signs, you must cultivate trust. Trust that life knows what it's doing even when you don't. Trust that the patterns unfolding around you are not there to confuse, but to guide. And trust that every moment, whether joyous or difficult, carries meaning that serves your growth. When you begin to see life this way, every experience transforms into a message. Every encounter becomes sacred, and every coincidence becomes a glimpse into the magnificent intelligence that holds everything together. The universe is always speaking through the patterns of your life. All you need to do is pay attention. Discomfort is not a curse. It is one of the universe's most profound forms of communication. Every uneasiness you feel, every moment of restlessness or inner tension, carries a message that something within you is shifting or resisting the flow of truth. Yet, most people run from discomfort, masking it with distractions, routine, or denial. We assume that if something feels unpleasant, it must be wrong. But the universe does not send pain to punish. It sends it to awaken. Discomfort is a compass, pointing you toward the parts of your life that no longer serve your highest path. When your soul is ready to grow, it will create friction within the life you've outgrown. The job that once excited you begins to drain you. The relationships that once felt safe start to feel limiting. The habits that once brought comfort now leave you feeling empty. These sensations are not random. They are divine signals urging you to evolve. The universe is constantly in motion, and so are you. When you resist that natural movement, when you cling to what no longer aligns with who you are becoming, discomfort arises as a gentle but powerful reminder that it's time to let go. The challenge is that discomfort often speaks in a language the mind doesn't understand. It doesn't always say, "Leave this," or "Go there." Instead, it appears as anxiety, fatigue, or a subtle sense that something isn't quite right. The ego wants to fix these feelings or run from them, but the soul wants you to listen. Beneath every discomfort lies a truth you've been avoiding. Perhaps a dream you've suppressed, a boundary you've ignored, or a lesson you've refused to learn. When you finally stop fighting what you feel and allow yourself to sit in that discomfort, clarity begins to emerge. You start to see that the pain isn't the enemy. The resistance to it is. Life uses discomfort the way a teacher uses silence, to give you space to understand. The universe will whisper at first, a small nudge, a quiet unease. If you ignore it, the whisper grows louder. Circumstances may begin to fall apart, forcing you to confront what you've been avoiding. The longer you resist, the stronger the message becomes. Yet even in your darkest moments, there is compassion in this process. The universe never takes from you what you truly need, only what you are no longer meant to hold. When you begin to see discomfort as guidance rather than misfortune, your entire relationship with life changes. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this trying to show me?" In that question lies power. You learn to move with the flow rather than against it, trusting that every challenge carries wisdom hidden beneath its surface. Discomfort is the universe's way of steering you back into alignment, reminding you that growth rarely feels comfortable, but it always leads you closer to your truth. Silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is the presence of truth. In a world overflowing with distractions, silence has become a rare and almost forgotten language. Yet it is in that stillness where the deepest understanding is found. The universe does not communicate through the constant chatter of the mind. It speaks through the quiet moments between thoughts, through the spaces where awareness becomes clear and untouched. When you slow down enough to listen, you begin to sense that everything around you is alive with meaning. Every sound, every movement, every breath holds a message, but it can only be heard when the inner noise fades. Most people live trapped in a constant internal dialogue, thinking, analyzing, planning, worrying. The mind races from one concern to another, desperate to control outcomes and explain every mystery. But truth does not need explanation, it needs attention. The more you think, the more you separate yourself from the natural rhythm of existence. Silence, on the other hand, dissolves that separation. It brings you back to what is real, to the quiet pulse beneath all creation. When you sit in silence, you begin to feel that life is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. In the stillness, intuition awakens. You start to feel subtle shifts in energy, to sense when something is right or wrong, without needing proof. The answers you seek often rise, not from thinking harder, but from listening deeper. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting the truths your restless mind tries to bury. You begin to see the patterns in your life more clearly, understanding why certain events unfold the way they do. In that awareness, confusion transforms into insight. You realize that the universe has been speaking all along. You simply needed to quiet yourself enough to hear it. True silence is not about retreating from the world, but about entering it more fully. When your mind is calm, you notice the beauty in ordinary things, the rhythm of your breath, the movement of the wind, the heartbeat of the earth. You see that everything is connected, that the same life flowing through you flows through all things. In this realization, fear begins to dissolve. The need to control fades, replaced by a deep trust in the intelligence that guides all of existence. The more you practice silence, the more fluent you become in the language of the universe. You begin to sense when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain still. You find that wisdom does not come from accumulation, but from awareness. The answers that once seemed distant begin to emerge effortlessly, not because you forced them, but because you made space for them to appear. In silence, you align with the rhythm of creation itself. And from that alignment, clarity, peace, and understanding arise naturally, like light emerging from the dawn. Every experience that unfolds in your life carries meaning, even the ones that break you open. The universe does not waste a single moment. It uses everything: joy, pain, loss, love, uncertainty, to awaken you to who you truly are. Every sign, every event, every encounter is a thread in a larger design meant to guide your evolution. Yet, because most people see only the surface, they miss the deeper purpose behind what happens. What feels like a setback might be redirection. What feels like chaos may be the dismantling of something false so that truth can emerge. The universe's signs are never random. They are invitations to awareness. There are moments when everything you planned begins to fall apart. Relationships end. Opportunities vanish. Familiar paths dissolve into confusion. In those times, it's easy to believe that life is being cruel or indifferent. But what if those endings are not punishments, but blessings in disguise? The universe removes what no longer serves your growth, even when your mind clings to it. It breaks the illusion of control so that you can remember your strength, your faith, and your connection to something far greater than yourself. Pain, when seen through this lens, is not the enemy. It is the teacher. It humbles the ego and opens the heart. Every heartbreak carries a lesson about love, not the kind that depends on another person, but the kind that comes from understanding your own worth. Every delay tests your patience, teaching you that divine timing is never late, only precise. Every disappointment urges you to release expectations and trust that what's meant for you will never require force. The universe speaks through these experiences, showing you that your growth is not in comfort, but in awareness. Awareness of your reactions, your attachments, your fears, and your resilience. To see every sign as a form of awakening, you must shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this trying to teach me?" That small change in perception transforms suffering into wisdom. It allows you to see life not as something that happens against you, but as something that unfolds for you. The storms that once frightened you become cleansing forces. The losses that once shattered you become sacred teachers. The people who leave your life create space for those who are meant to stay. When you begin to live with this awareness, nothing feels wasted. You stop resenting your past and start recognizing how each experience shaped your becoming. You realize that the universe's purpose is not to hand you a perfect life, but to awaken you to the perfection already within you. Every sign, every challenge, every unexpected turn is guiding you closer to yourself, to the place where peace is no longer something you chase, but something you remember. The universe is not silent. It's speaking through every experience, waiting for you to listen with the ears of your soul.